Welcome to the Delaware Mortgage Rate Weekly Mortgage Market Update for the week of July 28, 2014. Hello, I'm John Thomas with Primary Residential Mortgage, here to give you your update. Well, last week and the previous weeks have been a roller coaster ride for the bond market, which means Delaware mortgage rates have been going up and down, but good news, it's been contained into a rate of about 0.25% change. So over the last 3-4 weeks, mortgage rates have been going up and down, but the change is contained to be between 0.25%. So take a look at the bond chart on the screen. You can see what I mean by the roller coaster ride. You see the up arrows, the down arrows, the up arrows, the down arrows. Mortgage bonds have been going up, selling off, going up, selling off. So we're just at the bottom of a sell-off. And if you look at Friday, we finished there with a green candle, which means the bond closed higher than it opened. That's a good technical symbol. So it looks like we're at the bottom of the trading pattern, holding support. So we're going to go ahead and recommend floating your Delaware mortgage rate to start the week to see if we can go back on this up the hill of the roller coaster again, now that we're down at the bottom. So recommend floating Delaware mortgage rate. But again, if we were to sell off from here and break this support that we've had for the last 3 or 4 weeks, that would be a bad sign, and we would quickly switch to a locking stance. Now let's dig into some news reports. In economic news last week, we had the weekly initial jobs report come out on Thursday, and it was a very, very good report for the labor market. Jobless claims dropped to an 8-year low of 284,000 claims. That's a drop of 19,000 claims for the week from the previous week. So jobless claims are a leading indicator of the job market. So that this good jobless claims report dropping could mean that we could see a good labor market coming down the road. And we may see that in the July jobs report that's coming out this week. So be on guard for that. If we get a very good July jobs report, that could be bad news in the short term for mortgage rates. So we might quickly switch to a locking stance if it looks that way. We'll keep you updated throughout the week. Now, in inflation news, the Consumer Price Index, which is the CPI, came out last week for June 2014, and that showed inflation remains tame, which is a good sign for mortgage bonds. The core CPI actually declined from 2% to 1.9%. Now, if you remember, in the beginning of the year, inflation had been coming in hotter than expected, so this is a good sign. But and on the wholesale level, the Producer Price Index, the PPI for June, now that did come out slightly higher than expected, so that did show some signs of inflation on the wholesale level, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, in housing news, we had a very good report come out. Existing home sales for June 2014 were up 2.6% to 5.04 million units annualized. This was the first time in 9 months existing home sales were above 5 million units. So that was a great report there, and that was also above expectations. But new home sales for June 2014 unexpectedly declined by 8.1% to only 406,000 units. This was disappointing as it was well below expectations of 475,000 units for new construction. But it's not terrible. As you can see, 2 months ago we were at 408,000 new units. So not a terrible report, just very disappointing because we were expecting 475,000. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the new construction business there. And then USDA Rural Housing Loan Update. If you're looking to do a USDA loan, great loan program, 100% financing for those eligible, purchasing an eligible area. But the process with that is you have to, for the guarantee program, you have to find a bank like Primary Residential Mortgage and apply for the loan. Find the house, get under a contract, and then we underwrite the loan. And normally, once we clear it, you close. But with the USDA, your file has to then be sent to Rural Development for them to underwrite and sign off. Now, that process is taking currently 30 business days for them from when they receive it to them to give you your clear. So you need to factor that in when you're out there looking. So for borrowers, real estate agents, closing attorneys, you need to understand that you need a minimum of 60 days when you write that contract. Minimum 60 days. And if your lender can't get your loan cleared in less than 30 days, you're going to need probably 75 to 90 days, depending on your bank, if they're not real fast, because 30 business days is, about 45 days, close to it. So that could be a potential problem for you missing your closing date. And USDA just reiterated this July 18th. It is 30 business days for the foreseeable future. Now, they're working on some things, but nothing's going to change in the next couple months. So you got to be planning for that. Now, in the local news, the next free first-time homebuyer seminar in Maryland is coming, in Newark, Delaware is coming up Saturday, August 23rd. And that is at the Christiana Hilton Hotel from 10 a.m. to noon. And then the next one we have in Dover is actually coming up Saturday, August 16th and that's at the Dover Holiday Inn from 10 a.m. to noon. You can register for either one of those events. Give us a call, 302-703-0727, or register online, www.DelawareHomebuyerSeminar.com. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.